You don't really want to know if Bitcoin has been hacked. You want to know if it's safe, if it's real, if it's stronger than the system you're trying to escape. Because deep down, you already sense the trap. Your bank can freeze your account, your assets can be seized, and your money can melt. And the worst part, well, you call that normal. So you look to Bitcoin. You hear it's unbreakable, untouchable, and you want to believe it. But then you ask the question, has Bitcoin ever been hacked? And beneath that question is a bigger one. Can I trust this enough to unplug from the old world and step into the new one? So let's go ahead and answer that. Now, quick side note, if you want to understand sovereignty and why it's so important, well, I have this free course that you might want to check out. Now, this is called Sovereign by Design, and what I'll do is link this down in the description below. So, let's go ahead and define the question. What do you mean by Bitcoin? Do you mean the protocol, the network, the wallets, the exchanges, or the people? And what do you mean by hacked? Do you mean compromised? Do you mean broken? Do you mean vulnerable to collapse? Because here's the answer most won't give you. Bitcoin has never been hacked, but the things around it, well, that's a different story. And the distinction is everything. See, the Bitcoin protocol, the actual core code, the decentralized peer-to-peer network that runs on the blockchain has never been breached. Not once. Not in over a decade of attacks, pressure, scrutiny, and global stress tests. Now, that's not just rare, that's historic. Now, the core network is anti-fragile. The longer it survives, the harder it becomes to kill. And every attack, every attempt to break it has only made it stronger. But here's where most people get confused. They hear headlines just like Bitcoin hacked. They see losses, billions vanished, and they think the protocol failed. But it didn't. What failed, well, were the trusted third parties, exchanges, wallet providers, centralized platforms that hold your Bitcoin for you. Now they're banks, but with better branding. They're convenience disguised as custody. Mt. Gox, Bitfinex, FTX. They don't prove Bitcoin is broken. They prove you are the product when you trust a custodian. Because, think of it like this. Not your keys, not your coins. Now, when these platforms got hacked, it wasn't Bitcoin itself. It was a vault built on top of Bitcoin and with the door left open. So when someone asks, has Bitcoin ever been hacked? You say, no. But people have been lied to. People have been reckless. People have trusted middlemen again. See, Bitcoin doesn't fail. People forget what it stands for. They come in looking for gains, but they leave forgetting the mission. Sovereignty, self-custody, and unpermissioned freedom. Now, the moment you outsource your keys, you've re-entered the fiat matrix, just with better tech and shinier logos. Now, that's not sovereignty, that's convenience addiction. See, imagine a guy who stacked for 3 years, every dip, every paycheck. He did it right, until he didn't. He left everything on an exchange, trusted the UI, trusted the company, and ignored the warnings. Then one day, well, the site went down. Funds were gone. Support tickets ignored. Now, his Bitcoin wasn't hacked, but his trust was. Because when you give your freedom to someone else, don't be surprised when they sell it. Now, let me put it like this. Bitcoin has never been hacked, but your psychology has. You've been trained to trust screens. You've been conditioned to believe that secure means someone else is in charge, and you've been rewired to mistake safety for submission. But that's not how Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is not here to make your life easier, it's here to make your life yours. Now you don't get to skip custody, you don't get to skip sovereignty, and you don't get to ask someone to hold your keys without giving them the right to disappear with them. See, this is bigger than a tech question. It's a test. Because Bitcoin isn't just code, it's a mirror. It shows you how much responsibility you've outsourced, how much permission you've been trained to beg for, and how much of your life you've handed over to banks, bosses, platforms, governments, and called it security. So no, Bitcoin has never been hacked, but you've been programmed. And until you unplug, you'll keep asking the wrong questions. You'll keep fearing the wrong systems. Now here's what really matters. If Bitcoin had been hacked, the whole system would have collapsed. Confidence would be gone. Price would crater. Hash rate would vanish. And developers would abandon it. But none of that's happened because the architecture is resilient, because the incentives are aligned, and because the game theory holds. So Bitcoin is the most powerful, tested, and attacked monetary network in the history of civilization. And it's still standing. Now meanwhile, the dollar has been hacked, and every single year since 1971. They print it, you lose. They devalue it, you adjust. Now that's the real hack, and you're living in it. So maybe the better question is, has fiat ever not been hacked? Has your paycheck ever kept up with inflation? Has your savings ever grown faster than the system could shrink it? And has your retirement ever felt secure in a melting currency? Now the answer is no. You've been robbed slowly. Now not with guns, not with graphs, with policies, with percentages that lie. They hacked your value quietly, and they expect you to say thank you. So let's go ahead and end the debate. Has Bitcoin ever been hacked? No, but the system you're in, the one you were born into, that one's been hacked from the inside out. And Bitcoin is your exit, but only if you understand the rules. So take custody, own your keys, guard your stack, because that's how sovereignty works. No customer service, no reset button, no oops, I forgot my password. Just you and truth and math and a network that doesn't flinch. So if you're still wondering whether Bitcoin's ever been hacked, you're asking the wrong question. Ask instead, have I reclaimed my control? Have I exited the custodians? And have I stopped outsourcing my future to people who don't know my name? Because freedom isn't found in headlines, it's forged in action. So hold your keys, know your stack, and stay sovereign. Now, one last time, sovereign by design. This is completely free, and if you want to come and check this out, there'll be a link for this down in the description below. Now, if you've made it this far, and if you're not too sure what to watch next, well, I have this playlist for you just here, which you can go ahead and binge watch if you enjoy watching my content, or if you want a single video, you can watch this one just here, recommended to you by YouTube.